Welcome. Thank you all for coming. My name is Austin Keys and I'm the senior patrol leader of Troop 5. Each family should have received a program and a card when you walked in. Does anyone need any of these items? And instead of signing a guest book, please write a note on the end of the note card that you received and drop it into the Eagle box at the corner of the room near the awards before leaving this evening. Please stand and move on scouting headgear for the opening flag ceremony. Color guard attention. Color guard forward march. All those in uniform, scout salute. All others, place hand over hearts. Color guard, toast the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, return to ranks. Audience at ease. You may be seated. Mr. Addington, please convene the Court of Honor.
The Eagle Scout Award is the highest award available to youth members of the Boy Scouts of America. Awarding an Eagle Scout rank is a demonstration of how people working together can truly help mold a young man with a solid sense of leadership, citizenship, and responsibility. It is the climax and goal toward which this scout has been working for years. It is the culmination of the efforts of the parents and the leaders of this scout, in the case of Alexander, the village that raised him. Earning the rank of Eagle signifies that this young man has learned to be honorable in relation to his peers, his elders, and his society. He has developed a sense of loyalty to his parents, his teachers, and his fellow citizens. He has acquired courage and an ability to face challenges and find solutions to tough situations. As committee chair and charter organization representative for Troop 9005, by the power vested in me by the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my pleasure to declare this Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Alexander Maximilian Pavlicin now officially open. I invite Pastor Steve Kramer to come forward for the blessing.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this special day in the life of Alexander. As we celebrate his accumulated efforts of over the years of scouting, we also give you thanks this day for all the people that have helped him along the way to achieve this rank. His family, his scout leaders, his fellow scouts. We ask that you would help this young man to continue to live with honor all the days of his life, exercising trustworthiness, integrity, and service towards others around him. May Alexander's character be an example for others. And we ask that he might grow in loyalty to you, God, and to family and community and church and country. Enable him to live a courageous life, standing up for what is right and what is just. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we ask this. Amen.
the Scout Law, a sacred set of principles for living whose origins are lost in the mist of time. Listen now to the wisdom of the winds.
I am the spirit of the east wind. I represent the common law, a scout's duty to God and to country. Trustworthy, loyal, and helpful are the qualities that a man must possess who lives by the laws of this land. The scout must be always worthy of his brother's trust and show loyalty to all whom it is due. May the daily good turn be a central focus of your life.
As the spirit of the west wind, I represent the law of equity. Your duty to country and others, friendly, courteous, and kind, are the principles that speak of conscience. They create the atmosphere that comes from within your heart, kindle the desire to be a friend to those of all ages and stations in life. Be courteous to those who you pass along the trail. Cast away the harmful spirits of unfriendliness and selfishness.
I am the spirit of the south wind. I represent civil law, your duty to others and to self. Obedient, cheerful, and thrifty are the marks of civility. Obedience is something we all must learn. To take orders and carry them out cheerfully. Real thrift means spending both money and time wisely and sharing both of those with those less fortunate than us.
I am the spirit of the north wind, the most powerful of all. I represent the divine law, your duty to be brave and clean and reverent. To be brave is to be unselfish in service, always prepared to face the unknown. Cast from your mind and body the unclean spirits that try to weaken and destroy you. Live a life of reverence towards God.
Early one morning, a young boy stood at a trailhead. Beside him rose a mighty mountain, which seemed all the mightier when compared with his smallness. A trail led to the mountain and then up it to incredible heights before vanishing in the clouds. On this trail, the boy could see other boys and young men, some of whom turned and beckoned him to follow. The boy began to climb, refusing perhaps to believe that he could ever reach the top. At first, the trail rose gently, and the boy had many companions. But soon he began to sweat and breathe heavily, and many of his companions turned away. And still the boy climbed. At times he climbed quickly. At times he climbed slowly. At times he had to go down a little way to find another path or stop a while to catch his breath. But still he climbed. The trail became steeper, the air thinner. But the climber scarcely noticed, for he had, along the way, become stronger of body and heartier of spirit, and still he climbed. And finally, in the cool peace of evening time, he stood at the top of the world and looked around him. To the left, he saw a fiery golden sunset. To the right, he saw a diamond-studded, silky black night sky. Behind him, he saw the trail that he had followed and the hikers who were following in his footsteps. And in front of him, he saw another mountain, and another, and another, and a whole procession of mountains marching off to the horizon. But the young man knew that none of these other mountains were insurmountable, that all could and would be climbed, for he had learned many skills in the climbing of the first mountain, and he would carry those skills with him long after his mountain was forgotten. And besides, he could begin climbing the next mountain tomorrow. Tonight he would rest and celebrate and ponder the journey that he had completed. And so tonight we pause to rest and celebrate and honor this fine young man, Eagle Scout Alexander Maximilian Pavlicin, as he stands at the top of the world and looks around. Along this journey, Alexander has received help from everyone here today. in many different ways. When he stumbled along the path, you were his walking stick to lean on for support. On behalf of all those who have supported Alexander, Grandpa Jim Smith will now present him with a walking stick ready for carving. Alexander, in those times ahead, when you need a little extra strength for the journey, may the stick always remind you of your family and friends and your village of support. We will now hear from three of Alexander's mentors, Mr. Gary Borner, who led Alexander through Cub Scouts as his den leader, Mr. David Bardwell, who is Alexander's neighbor and played a role as his Pinewood Derby Akela, and Mr. David Benke, who welcomed Alexander across the bridge to Boy Scouts and served as Alexander's Eagle Scout coach and Scoutmaster for most of his journey.
Good evening, everybody. I'm honored to have been asked by Alexander to say a few words tonight. It's been almost 9 years ago that my son, Michael, decided to get involved in scouting, which gave me the opportunity to co-lead a new den of Cub Scouts. It was there that I got to know 8 energetic young boys, one of them being Alexander. Early on, I could see that Alexander loved the opportunity and the structure that came with scouting. He always came prepared, and he was always very eager to share his thoughts and feelings with the group, and I really appreciated that about Alexander. He was articulate and could communicate very effectively within the group. He had the makings of a leader. He also had an uncanny knack of building a great Pinewood Derby, which it sounds like we'll hear more about. Fast forward to this evening, and we have a fine young man before us in Alexander. So Alexander, congratulations on this accomplishment. Many things you have learned will serve you as you continue to grow in your maturity, your faith, your relationships, and your leadership. The Scout Oath, the Scout Law, the Scout Motto, as you have pledged these over the years, remember they are not suggestions, but guidelines to live by. The world is in need of great leaders, strong leaders, especially those that have a strong moral compass, and those that have wisdom to accompany that leadership. Scouting, no doubt, has helped build that into you. The beauty of scouting is that you've had the opportunity to witness your leaders pour time and energy into your growth. While my part was small, in the grand scheme of things, it's those relationships that build each one of us into who we are. We learn and grow from those that have more experience than us and more wisdom. Wisdom, different from knowledge, puts all of the information that we absorbed into its proper context. In the Bible, the book of Psalms and Proverbs are filled with verses that help us to gain wisdom and help us to avoid the folly that comes to many. Proverbs 2:6 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding." Hide these things in your heart and in your mind, and the words and lessons and guidance from your Scout handbook and your scouting leaders. Measure yourself against things you know to be true and proven, even if it leaves you standing alone sometimes. Keep doing your good turns, and the world will be a better place for it, and you'll be amazed at where it takes you. Lastly, I look forward to seeing and sharing in your future accomplishments and getting more invitations like this to celebrate with you, your family, and your friends. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm David Bardwell, Alexander's neighbor. We met so many years ago. We were 2 years old, and that was part before we even moved in together, and been fast friends ever since. My introduction to scouting all started with Alexander coming over and asking, "Mr. Bardwell, can you help me make a Pinewood Derby car?" I went downhill from there, didn't it? So Alexander started coming over to build the car. And as a very young man, I was immediately impressed by how diligent he was and how patient he was with doing the work that needed to be done. And I didn't really realize how much work I was asking him to do. And one day after he spent the night before working, Karen came over and told me, you know, Alexander came to me today and he said, Mom, you'd be proud. I was patient with Mr. Barlow last night. And he was. For how many years we built cars? 5 years? Spinning wheels and polishing axles and diligent and patient and learned quickly. I'm always surprised and amazed by that. Alexander's always been quick to step up and volunteer and help when he sees something going on at our house. I remember when you were barely old enough or big enough to pick up big bags of mulch, he came running over and started carrying mulch for us. And just an amazing thing to see the youngster that willing to jump in and help out. We really have a whole lot more to say about that. I do want to thank you for teaching me those values and seeing how someone like you can jump in and be patient with Mr. Barlow. Obviously, it shows with all the other work you've done. Congratulations.
Left me a lot of time. It's been dangerous. I just got a couple of things I want to say about Alexander. Really not all on there. But I could start with a list that's down the line. You know, when Alexander came to Boy Scouts, he was a little bit quiet. Not the first one to yell out anything. And I think that's because he was watching what we were doing, learning what we were doing, and actually waiting for his chance to teach. You know, I was riding home from work and I saw Jerry Kill's billboards. They're building a team. And the 7th brick on their team is trust. Thinking, boy, they got it all wrong. Because trustworthy is #1 with Boy Scouts. And I could always trust Alexander. Trust him to do his job, trust him to teach others, and trust him to know when it was time for him to follow. In Boy Scouts, you spend a lot of time leading and a lot of times follow. And if you're a really good follower, you'll know how to be a really good leader. Alexander played both roles for us extremely well. He was a leader when he needed to be. He stepped up when he had to. And he learned when to follow. When the new guy took over as SPL, it's all right. Watch him, but support him, and let him learn. And I think that's what all the scouts in Troop 5 have done. I'm so honored to be part of it, to be part of tonight, part of Alexander's life, to be part of each and every person of Troop 5 in their lives. Get together the other night, Mrs. Wilson came over and said, "Do you realize what you've done?" And I said, "Me?" She goes, "Yeah, what you've done." Those first 6 scouts crossed the bridge and became Eagle Scouts. But in their wake are many Eagles coming behind them. We've created a troop that has created such quality young men. We didn't do it all on their own because they came from their great parents. They probably came with a little bit of edge to that. But I didn't do it. This troop did it. And the young men like Alexander who stepped forward for leading, for teaching, for being a scout have done it. So in our round of applause tonight, don't forget that it takes a troop to be a troop. You're all wonderful. And as I heard in the board review, you're all awesome. Thank you.
I have the privilege of administering the Eagle Challenge and the Eagle Promise tonight. To wear the wings of an eagle, a young man must pass many seasons in his troop and live to the principles of the Scout Oath and Law in his everyday life. Alexander has shown the spirit of scouting is alive and well within him. He has earned 28 merit badges, including all of those required for Eagle. Alexander has served as his assistant senior patrol leader for his troop, being a troop guide, a patrol leader, as well as attending the Grey Wolf National Youth Leadership Training. This month, he participated in the National Order of the Arrow Centennial Conference, leading his brother scouts toward a better tomorrow. Perhaps the most important requirement of an Eagle rank is the personal character of the scout, as reflected in his attitude toward God, toward the ideals of scouting, individuals at home, his church, and in his community. To become an Eagle Scout, a young man must cheerfully serve his community through a special project in faithfulness to the principles of scouting. After learning about the local homeless, Alexander went to seek out Hope for the Journey Home, a local shelter in our community. Alexander visited the home and talked with the director about their needs. He learned that families, much like those in this room, can fall on hard times when a parent loses a job, a mortgage becomes unaffordable, or a serious illness depletes a family's savings. He also stood in a few of those bedrooms and tried to imagine his family of 5 living in that small space together for even just 1 week, much less a few months. For his Eagle project, Alexander led a group of scouts to create storage units so that family members staying at the shelter could have their own cubbies to store day-to-day belongings during their difficult transition. Recently, Alexander brought John, his exchange student from Spain, to the shelter, and together they volunteered, working with the children that stay there. Alexander's actions show a heart not focused on his own achievement, but one that looks to serve others. Alexander, at this time I would invite you to stand, probably rather uncomfortably up before us. Tonight, Alexander, you join a brotherhood of Eagle Scouts. You are being honored not so much for what you have done, but for that for which you will do in the future. As you did at the fire ring many seasons ago, you are committing yourself to a life of cheerful service and righteous living. Therefore, when you arise in the morning, give thanks for the morning light. Give thanks for your life and for your strength, for your food and for the joy of living. Be merciful to those around you. Take care of the weak, the sick, the old, and the helpless. Show respect to all men and women. Be hospitable. Be kind. A man who is tried and proven is at all times clean, courteous, and the master of himself. Thus spoke the great chief, and thus you must do. The Eagle Scout is not a patch to be worn or a certificate to be hung on the wall. It is a way of living your life. Alexander, are you willing to take upon the challenges of living your life according to the values of an Eagle Scout? If so, answer yes, and I accept the challenge.
Yes, I accept the challenge.
Then tonight you take upon yourself the solemn obligation of the Eagle by repeating the Eagle Scout promise. Through the words you will say, they are similar to words you have said before, but tonight they will mean something more to you. This time, Alexander, I would like to present to you the neckerchief of the Eagle Scout. I'm going to remove your troop neckerchief. Fondest hopes that you will wear this as a probably for the rest of your scouting days. You proceed. At this time, I would like all Eagle Scouts in the room to please come up front here. And if you would stand behind Alexander. Alexander, would you come forward? will be repeating the Eagle Scout promise. For all of the scouts who are standing up here, this will be a reaffirmation of the very same promise that every Eagle Scout takes. For Alexander, it will be for the first time. I'm a firm believer in the power of touch. So with your right hand, if you will make the scout sign, and Eagles, with your left hand, if you will place a hand on the shoulder of Alexander. Please repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance.
I reaffirm my allegiance
To the three promises of the Scout Oath.
to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize
I thoughtfully recognize
and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities
the obligations and responsibilities
of an Eagle Scout.
of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example.
my rank and my influence
My rank and my influence
count strongly for better scouting
count strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship
and for better citizenship
in my troop,
in my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
and in all my contacts with other people.
and in all my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
2. Gentlemen, you may be seated. Alexander, if you would just remain where you are, and I would like to ask Mr. Banky to come forward again.
You know, Webster's dictionary describes an eagle as a large bird of prey with sharp vision, powerful wings, famous for their strength, their size, their grace, and keen vision. It's the national emblem for the United States, the bald eagle. Though the eagle is found throughout the world, he is never found in abundance. He is always rare, and he is always a superb specimen. In scouting, the eagle stands for strength of character. The eagle stands for knowledge of all phases of scouting. The eagle represents an understanding of community, the nation, and a deep respect for the world around him. The eagle is a symbol of what a young man has done, as well as what that young man will do and will be. When he grows to manhood, the eagle is a leader. The eagle is respected both by his peers and by his adult leaders. While becoming an Eagle Scout takes great initiative and perseverance, he does not come to soar on his own. Will Alexander's parents please come forward? Alexander, your parents have undoubtedly been your primary source of help and strength as you journey along the Eagle Trail. The symbol of your success is the Eagle Medal, which I now present to your mom. And she will turn and pin this medal over your heart. No one will ever know the countless acts of self-sacrifice from your mom. In recognition of her love, her encouragement, faith, and trust in your future, please present your mom with her Eagle Mother's pin. And in the tradition of Troop 5, I think we left something out there. Come on. Alexander, your father died when you were very young. Stories of his strong example of service to God, country, and family have guided your steps as his spirit watches over you from heaven. Your papa, grandpa, and granny in heaven as well. And Grandma Alma, Grandma Mary, and Grandpa Jim here today, and all your aunts and uncles have influenced your sense of self and supported you on your journey. Your stepdad Gino came into your life about the same time you crossed over the bridge from Cub Scouts into Boy Scouts. He's been another source of advice and guidance. Many of the adults in this room have also coached and guided you on your journey. On behalf of all the moms and dads and mentors in your village, I ask Gino to present the Eagle Scout certificate to you. In return, please present Gino with his scouting pin. And now it gives me awesome pleasure to present to you Eagle Scout Alexander Maximilian Pavlicin. Parents, you may be seated. Alexander, you get to stay here. Our senior patrol leader, Austin Keys, will now present the gifts.
Alexander, I hope you know what's coming up. As a tradition of Troop 5, every Eagle Scout candidate that we create, we give him a fancy, very nice nut. On the nut is the day he became an Eagle Scout, his troop number, his name, as well as the words Eagle Scout. So Alexander, congratulations, you're in this now. Now I ask Grandma Alma to please come up. Alexander, on behalf of your family and their trust in your future, Grandma presents to you the gift of a lifetime membership in the National Eagle Scout Association. Mr. Rodriguez will now read a few congratulatory remarks.
I would like to read a few excerpts from name letters and certificates which have been sent by people who could not attend this evening's ceremony. For Major League Baseball, Atlanta Braves pitcher Jason Grilling, Alexander, I am proud of you. There are many who have dreams, and there are those who go after them. I encourage you to continue to try new things and go after them, even when you may fail plenty of times. Relish in your big win today. Enjoy being honored for who you are, and then continue to set the example for those around you. Keep dreaming and teaching others to do the same. From Newbery Medal winning author Katie DeCanolo, current national ambassador for the Young People's Literature, who has personally challenged Alexander since he was 5 years old to finish writing his novel. Alexander, thank you for being in the power of story. I hope you will keep reading. Congratulations on your Eagle Scout. Sending you all good wishes. From retired Marine Corps General Jim Jones, who served with Alexander's father, and during his 40 years of service was commander of the Marine Corps Supreme Elite Commander in Europe and U.S. National Secretary Advisor. As with many organizations with mission focused on concept and service to others, success and achievement comes with a cost. You have no doubt overcome challenges and tasks that endure demanding circumstances. And today, for your devotion and sacrifice, you should feel nothing less than an overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment. My time with the 24th Marine, my time with the 24th Marine I'm sorry, I'm getting a little nervous here. My time with the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit, one of the most cherished memories of my Marine Corps career, due to, in no small part, to the quality and characters of each Marine to whom I have served, especially Fighting Bob Pavlicin. Your achievements is illustrative of the fact that you have embraced the very same core values of honor, courage, and commitment that your father embraced as a Marine. You have made your father proud. There are many other, there are more letters on display that Alexander has received in the back. Please feel free to go ahead and take a look at those after the ceremony. Right now, we'd like to hear some remarks from Alexander.
Before I begin, there's a necessary thank you that I have to give. Would my mother please come forward? So, my mom has put in a lot of time into this Court of Honor and into me achieving my Eagle, and so I don't think I would ever be able to thank her enough, but this is just a small token of my affection, and thank you very much for everything that you've done for me. As I thought about what it means to me to become an Eagle Scout, I found that being an Eagle Scout is less about the things I've learned and more about how I will use those skills in the future. This celebration is only the beginning of my new life as an Eagle Scout, where I will hold myself to higher standards and keep climbing higher and higher. I was told recently by a fellow Scout that the Scout Oath was written in order of importance. The first duty, to God and country, is most important and comes above all else. The second duty, to help other people at all times, is important because it reminds us that we are here on this earth to serve others, not for personal gain. And the final duty, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight, reminds me to live by the values that I've learned in scouting and take care of myself so I'm ready and able to perform the first two duties. One very meaningful thing I've learned in scouting, which I will use for the rest of my life, is what it means to be a good leader. The concept of leadership in general sometimes appears to be linked to success, as if being a good leader means achieving success at a particular objective. Instead, when I think of good leaders, I think of the failures or the bad times, when things don't seem to be going well, and the leaders are tested the most. The best and strongest leaders thrive during these times and use their skills to bring the team together. For example, I cut my finger on a campout a few years ago while using a pocket knife. I was bleeding, and the situation could have gotten out of hand very quickly, but thanks to the teamwork and support of my scout leaders, I was patched up within a few minutes. I remember being scared at first, but after seeing them come together as one group, I knew I was in good hands. They even made me a hamburger to eat on the way to the hospital. When I see a majestic creature such as an eagle perch on its nest and look towards the heavens, or the beautiful sunset cast an eerie glow across the lake, I'm reminded of the other part of scouting that I'll treasure forever, camping under the stars. When I wasn't getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, or forgetting to put up my rain fly during a rainstorm, I found a calm serenity in just sitting around a campfire on a starry night. The lens through which I view others has largely been shaped by the profound image that my scout leaders and fellow scouts have shown me. When I see someone for the first time, I try not to see our differences, but instead think of how we are similar, because in the end, we're all a part of this wonderful world that we live in. I'm reminded of this every time I go to a scout meeting, because every scout wears the same uniform, perhaps with different patches and ranks, but the same spirit kindled inside, regardless of how they appear on the outside. I plan to go to college to become an engineer, build an Ironman suit, and hopefully become one day President of the United States. While these lofty goals might seem impossible now, I know that my leadership skills and love of serving others will carry me far beyond where I ever thought possible. I will never be able to repay you individually for helping me climb this mountain, but by serving others and setting an example to those around me, I can inspire and mentor others just as you have inspired me. There are many people who have mentored me along the way, both within and outside scouting: teachers, coaches, neighbors, family members, other scouts, and many scout leaders who taught me invaluable lessons, such as Mr. Rodriguez, who taught me how to make the best camp pancakes, Mr. Eddington, who brought first aid to life and made sure all of those signatures got on my Eagle application, Mrs. Marsh, who held me accountable for merit badges, Mrs. Keys, Mrs. Michaelowitz, and Mrs. Anderson, who showed by example how to cheerfully serve others and the benefits of carpooling, and all the other amazing leaders who may hear stories about around the campfire later. It is traditional for an Eagle Scout to give a special mentor pin to the person who helped him most on his Eagle journey. I would like to honor 3 of my scouting mentors today with mentor pins. I would like to ask Mr. Borner, Mr. Bardwell, and Mr. Banky to come forward. My first mentor pin goes to Mr. Borner, who walked the trail with me from my very first Cub Scout meeting to crossing the bridge into Boy Scouts. Mr. Borner, thank you for all of the time you devoted to help our Cub Scout den become friends, taking us on go see it trips, and for teaching me everything from how to pitch a tent to how to hold a flag respectfully. You ignited my interest in scouting. Thank you. My second scouting mentor is Mr. Bardwell, who lives across the street from me and has been there from my first Pinewood Derby race to hammering nails at my Eagle Scout project. Mr. Bardwell, thank you for teaching me the finer points of engineering, fast cars from a block of wood, and for being there for much more than scouting. You taught me what it means to be a great neighbor. My third mentor pin goes to Mr. Banky, who welcomed me when I crossed over the bridge into Boy Scouts, made every camp out meaningful, and guided me through every step on my Eagle journey. Mr. Banky, your love of nature is contagious. You showed me by your example the power of giving to others, that great leaders surround themselves with capable people and then believe in them, and that the Bible is the best book around. Most of all, you've been like a second dad to me. Thank you. for being a part of my journey to Eagle Scout, and I look forward to seeing where my next journey takes me. Thank you. And now we will hear from Mr. Benke with his comments.
Remember the Petticoat Junction song? There's Uncle Joey's moving kind of slow. I feel like that today. Went down with a little back injury on Sunday, and man, I must be getting old. And I thought, oh yeah, I slept on a cot, didn't I? A lot of times, people time these Scoutmaster minutes. I don't pay attention to that when they do. Mr. Rodriguez and Alexander's mom were sitting around talking about the Court of Honor. I said, you know, Alexander, you should build it, just like a campfire. From the smaller start to a roar and kind of let it come down. And he started laughing. His mom started laughing. What's up? He said, well, we knew you were going to say exactly that. Oh, I've become so predictable. But I think tonight will be a special honor to think about a campfire as we go forward. Because when Alexander was just 6 years old, Cub Scouts, when they brought him in to the pack, they offered him a stick to add to the fire. And when he added that stick to the fire, the flames grew larger. And together, they became one in that fire. Tonight, after the ceremony is finished, after the closing of the flags, we'll gather around the fire ring, where we'll light a ceremonial fire. Each of you here has played an important role in Alexander's life. So we invite each of you to participate in the symbolic ceremonial fire that represents Alexander's first steps on his next journey. On your way out, you'll be handed a stick. The stick represents all you have given to Alexander to help him get to this moment. As you come up to the fire ring to congratulate Alexander, please place your stick in the fire. This will represent your encouragement and support going forward. As Alexander takes all that his village has given him and all he has learned becoming an Eagle Scout and brings it with him into the future. I would add one more thing as the embers die down and the fire becomes silent. I challenge you to come back and gather some of those ashes. And keep those in every campfire you're with, whether they be with friends or family or scouters. Add those ashes to that fire. And again, you'll join in building that community that we need across this country. You did a great job. Congratulations. Don't forget, once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
Mr. Addington, please close the door.
As committee chair and charter organization representative for Troop 9005, I would like to offer my congratulations to Alexander for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. I now declare this Eagle Scout Court of Honor closed. Alexander and his family invite you to stay for walking tacos, stories, s'mores around the campfire. Mr. Benke and Alexander will light the fire immediately following the closing flag ceremony. When you come to the fire to congratulate Alexander, please remember to toss your stick into his Eagle fire. Alexander's letters, certificates, and scouting memorabilia are on display for your viewing. I would also like to remind you to put a note of encouragement in his Eagle box. Thank you for joining us today. Please rise for the closing flag ceremony.
Please remove all non-scouting headgear. Color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Scout salute. All others please place hand over heart. Color guard retrieve the colors. Color guard return to rank. 2. Audience at ease.
They're off the team.
Oh, yeah, they're like, oh, not a
He's got a bad hand, you know. It's like, he can't hit the fire just right.
No, ladies first.
Me first.
Put on display for
Yeah.